you just broke down exactly what's flawed about, the current bodybuilding today in an amazing way. So thank you for that, Lee. It actually just became more comprehensible to me, explaining those different eras. One of the things you mentioned was Arnold. Now, Arnold had the 7, you got the 8s. Arnold was there back in the early days. When you look back now, where you're at now in 2020, what did Arnold contribute to the sport, both good and bad? And what was it like for you to beat him in that number of competitions? Was that something that was on your mind? It was obviously a big deal for everybody, but what was that like in your own head?
Well, like I said, Arnold really gave the bodybuilding a footprint that is well respected all around the world. He put bodybuilding right in front of the entire world, and thanks to people like Joe Weider with Muscle and Fitness magazine and Flex magazine, Shape magazine, who gave bodybuilding a voice. So that was extremely important, and not to also mention the importance of NABA, who was there, who started the Mr. Universe. All of that started right there in Great Britain. So that was even before the IFBB was formed. So I got to really give my hats off to the earlier pioneers who gave Joe Weider a platform to step from. So you have to give credit to them too. It was right there in Great Britain that it all began to happen. So, but Arnold took it to the screens. He took it to the politics. He did an incredible job. And my being able to come off of some of the successes of Arnold and then take bodybuilding and go, to the next level was also incredible. And I have to give thanks to him for drawing attention to the fact that, hey, bodybuilders are special people. We're smart. We're intelligent. We're approachable. We're a benefit to society. I had my show on ESPN called Lee Haney's Championship Workout. I had a show on the Trinity Broadcast Network, which is a Christian network that's internationally called Totally Fit. I was chairman to the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sport under President Bill Clinton. And I'm also in the International Sports Hall of Fame. So it's a lot of different things that has been made possible through the sacrifice and the success of people like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And where I am now in this era, I'm still enjoying what I do. I'm able to share what I do in so many different ways. And it is truly a blessing to be where I am, to have traveled to more than 30 different countries around the world and to have a fellowship of iron brotherhood with people everywhere is awesome. So hats off to all of the people who made that possible for me to step into the shoes of.
Was it important that you beat his 7 with your 8 Mr. Olympia championships?
Well, you know what? When I set out, I didn't think of, okay, let's win the Mr. Olympia 8 times. Listen, to win the Mr. Olympia 1 time is a miracle, And after I won the first one, I'm like, wow, I just became Mr. Olympia. I just became the one thing that I desired to do and reading the magazines ever since I was a youngster. And I'm him now. And so, okay, let's train for the next one. And I win that one. Then one of my training partners, a great friend of mine, and we worked out together. He said, Lee, man, let's go ahead and hit this 3. Then guess what? I won the 3rd one because Frank Zane had got 3. I said, well, if I get 3, man, at least I've tied Frank Zane. And then I said, well, let me go for 5. So next thing you know, I hit 5. So, wow, man, Arnold got 6 in a row, and maybe I could tie that record, do 6. So next thing you know, I hit 6, and then I said, okay, let's go 7. 7 is a record in itself. Nobody's done 7 in a row, but still, I don't have the record of 7 overall. So the next thing you know, I hit 7. And at 7, I said, well, man, 7 Mr. Olympias in a row. That's a record, and it's tied for Arnold. And I sat down and I had a talk with my wife, Shirley. And, Shirley was my second grade sweetheart growing up. So we've known each other forever. She's an athlete. She played volleyball. She was in track and field, name it, baseball, basketball. She did. As a matter of fact, she was the president of the sports club going through high school, and I was the vice president. I mean, my wife was the ace boo-coon, even back then. And I was under her as a VP. So anyway, I sat down with Shirley and said, well, baby, we've done 7 Olympias. That's a record in itself. What do you think? Should I just, call it quits after that? She looked at me and said, well, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You got to do 8. What's the matter with you? I mean, I was almost embarrassed because I even mentioned the fact of stopping before 8. And so with her pushing me and always being there to support me, I said, okay, 8 it is. 8 it is. And so I set out to prepare for that 8th Mr. Olympia. And there she was on stage with me, along with my son, Joshua, who was 3.5 at the time, and my daughter, Olympia, who was about 9 months old. So they all celebrated the Mr. Olympia with me for the 8th consecutive time. Incredible. No, you don't start saying, well, I want to win a Mr. Olympia 8 years in a row. That's a miracle. Just to win it is a miracle. But 8 in a row, man, that's crazy. Which is why after every Mr. Olympia win, I would always bow on my knees on stage. And people said, well, you okay, Leo? You dizzy? No, I'm on my knees thanking God for that moment because it was a miracle in itself.